Hello again, classic film fans. My name is Mary LYLE. I'm the Director of Education for the Western Heritage Museum and Lee County Cowboy Hall of Fame. And I'm here to introduce the last film of our virtual classic Western film series. It's Ride the High Country, directed by Sam Peckinpah and released in 1962. This is Sam Peckinpah's second film. Peckinpah liked the script, but he stipulated that he would do a lot of rewriting. And the rewriting that he did really refined and shaped the story. It was released on a double bill, and it was the bottom half of that double bill. But the studio found out that people were coming to see Ride the High Country, not the film that was on the top of the bill. After it was released in Europe, all of the European critics sat up and took notice. It won the first prize at the Cannes Film Festival and also at the Belgium Film Festival. So there was a lot of buzz and a lot of interest, and in America they decided to re-release it much more widely and to publicize it. Sam Peckinpah put a lot of his own family history into this film. His family had moved to California in the 1800s, and in fact there is a mountain named after his family. It's near the location where this film is set, and he grew up hearing the stories from his father and other relatives of the exploits of his ancestors. Sam Peckinpah really admired his father, and he admired him for the qualities that you will see in the heroic character played by Joel McCrea. He is honest, he's trustworthy, and he is a man of his word, and he is not going to back down when confronted. The film was filmed on several locations in California, and the reason is that Peckinpah insisted that the scenery had to change as they journeyed into the mountain and then came back from the mountain. So he wanted that kind of realism, and I think it does pay off. Sam Peckinpah had a bad reputation. He was very volatile, and he was a heavy drinker, and he could cause a lot of havoc. When Joel McCrea was first approached, he hesitated, and it was only after talking in person to Peckinpah and having Peckinpah relate these stories from his family that Joel McCrea finally agreed to be in it. Randolph Scott had a long career, especially in the Western films. That's what he's known for, and so is Joel McCrea. And both of them knew that Ride the High Country would probably be their last film. In Scott's case, it was. In McCrea's case, he was convinced to do one or two more smaller appearances in films, but really, this was his farewell to Westerns. Both of these men were big stars, and so it was hard to decide who would get top billing. They had equal billing. They flipped a coin to see whose name would appear first, and Randolph Scott won the toss. But they are both the stars of this film. Some of the other actors in this film, you're going to recognize a lot of them. The first one I'll talk about is Mariette Hartley. This is her first film. She was a stage actress. Also in this film, you have James Drury, and that is before he went on to star in The Virginian on TV. He plays a little bit of a different character for him. We're used to seeing him as the good guy, and in this one, he's not a good guy. Another person that you're going to recognize is Warren Oates. Warren Oates became part of the Sam Peckinpah stock company, just as John Ford had his favorite actors to work with, so did Sam Peckinpah. And so you will see Warren Oates as one of the brothers. Another notable actor is Edgar Buchanan. He plays the judge, Judge Tolliver. Ron Starr plays Longtree. He's going to have to find his own moral compass and you just wonder which one of these older men that he's going to follow in their footsteps. We have a very famous novelist and screenwriter, Max Evans, who came from Lee County, and he was a very dear, close friend of Sam Peckinpah. In one of his books, it's called Going Crazy with Sam Peckinpah and All of Our Friends, he writes about this film that Joel McCrea was one of the most authentic Western film actors of his time, and that he was a cowboy in real life. He owned 2 ranches. One of them was in California, and one of them was in New Mexico. Max Evans was interested in Ride the High Country. He felt like it was one of Peckinpah's very best films, and he interviewed Joel McCrea about it. And Joel McCrea said that it really was his best work. He was happy to end his career on a high note, doing such good work, and Randolph Scott agreed. This is a very interesting film. I just loved it. I loved the scenery. I loved the pacing of it. I thought the pacing was very good. The realism wasn't that bloody, but it was brutal, and that was the truth about what those mining towns were like. So we are at the end of this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. Just let us know. Message us on Facebook. You can send us an email, or you can call the museum. And we will start another film series in July. So I'll see you then.